Mitch Marner stands alone after making history in Tampa Bay. Hey everyone, Rob Wong, joined alongside by Toronto Sun Maple Leafs beat writer Terry Koshan. And Terry, I'm pretty sure the odds makers had Mitch Marner likely to extend that point streak to 19 games, and he does, of course, fittingly with a shorthanded goal, something that he has shown the ability to do before. What did you make of his performance on Saturday and the historical significance of a Toronto guy now setting this record?
First, like you say, Rob, fitting that he scores shorthanded given all the accolades Marner gets for the defensive play. You know, he and David Kampf do a great job on the forecheck on that PK, forced a couple of turnovers. Kampf gets control, sets Marner up for the historic point and the goal. And, you know, the significance of this is certainly not lost on Mitch Marner. The difficulty of it, you know, Daryl Sittler setting the record of 18 games in 77-78, Eddie Olczyk tying it in 89-90, and then no one since. So it's been a long time since the Maple Leaf did this. And, you know, Rob, we hear about Gretzky's record of 51 games in the NHL and how difficult that is to achieve. Well, no kidding, but this is nothing to sneeze at either. You know, if it was easier to do, somebody would have done it by now, given that some of the talented players the Leafs have had over the years, you know, despite the fact they haven't had the playoff success. But, you know, kudos to Marner. He's been consistent all the way through it. You could tell this was coming, Rob, in the first period. He had the puck on his stick, was making things happen. And, you know, from the way he's going, there will be no surprise for anybody if he does extend this to 20 games here in Dallas against the Stars on Tuesday night.
Now, no surprise, as the Maple Leafs and Lightning played a pretty hard-fought game on Saturday, very reminiscent of their playoff series a year ago. In fact, the first time the Leafs have been back there since that Game 6 loss. That third period looked a little bit familiar with some of the penalties that were taken by the Maple Leafs. It is just one game, Terry, but what did you make of the rematch between these two?
Well, I just thought it was a great game between two closely matched opponents. You know, the Maple Leafs could have won the hockey game. It was kind of like the way the series went last spring, Rob. You know, going 7 games, the Leafs in a bit of control in Game 6 for letting it slip away, and of course losing by 1 goal at home in Game 7 to be disappointed yet again. But I thought it was a good game. There were great chances on both ends. Both Andre Vasilevsky for Tampa and Matt Murray for the Leafs did good things. Of course, Murray probably does want the overtime goal back, as he told us after the game. But you know, if the teams meet again just before Christmas in Toronto, I think it'll be another great tilt. And we're expecting, Rob, the way things are looking. I know it's early; it's just the beginning of December, but this could be another potential first-round matchup. And I think a lot of people would like that. There's offensive firepower on both ends. There's stinginess on both sides. And, you know, I think it'd be another great series, certainly another 7-gamer. And, yeah, competitive all the way through. And like I say, 2 more matches, including one in Toronto in a couple of weeks. And I think we'll see more of the same.
Well, luckily for the Maple Leafs, there is no 3-on-3 overtime in the playoffs, and that has been an issue so far this season. 6 straight OT losses now. Terry, do you put anything into that there might be something that's just not working for the Leafs come 3-on-3?
Well, you know, each one is situational, and Rob, it is a little bit hard to put a finger on because there are differences in each. You know, they've lost 6 in a row now, like you say, after beating Dallas in their first overtime game on October 20th back in Toronto on the Nick Robertson goal. But, you know, even though it's kind of difficult to break down because, like I say, different things are happening. But the fact of the matter is they got to find a way out of this when they do start getting overtime games, because there's the negativity, the negative side of it is they're leaving points on the table. And, you know, they've gone 0-6 in their past 6 OT games. They got 6 points. But if you win 3 of those, you get 3 more points. You're that much closer to the Bruins at the top of the standings. You put that much space between yourself and the Lightning in second place, Detroit Red Wings, whoever it's going to be, in third place at the end of the season. And, you know, the points count. So like I was saying, you don't want these points that they're leaving on the table to be a deciding factor in where you start for the first round of the playoffs next spring. But that could very well happen given the tightness of the Atlantic Division. So they got to turn it around. They're a bit of a catch-22 to start practicing these things. You might not play in overtime for another month, and you know that 3-on-3 work goes at the window. But something has to change. Whether it's concentrating a little more, you know, obviously the turnovers, but that goes both ways in overtime. Being more opportunistic, something has to change for them once these games go the extra time. Because, like I say, leaving points on the table at any time this season is dangerous.
Well, we'll see how things go for them the next time they get into OT. For all of Terry's Maple Leafs coverage, you can head over to the Toronto Sun.